Happy Friday. We're back. Nick.
Happy Friday. Welcome to the Marketing Qualified Rundown.
Oh boy, I'm still so sore. We're taking a quick little break here to deliver some marketing news for you versus
Yes.
our Olympics. We'll be back later for that though.
So very excited. Miss Swedish Fish, I am Science Friday Nick, here to break down the Marketing Qualified newsletter that we produce every week. So today we have two good topics. One, pick a villain. Dun, dun, dun.
Villain. You know, villain marketing might not be, people might not be familiar with that term at all.
What is villain marketing?
You're basically, you choose a bad, I don't even know where to, I should prep for that one. Can you help?
I mean, I think the way you think, I think about villain marketing really is compare what's terrible and then why is our way better. So before we went live, you actually had some really great examples like, Slack versus, regular email as an example.
Right? Yeah. So exactly. So you don't do this with a person. Let's be clear on that. You should not choose a person when you take on a villain marketing, but rather like Slack versus emails. They actually had a campaign on this a long time ago where the email then like overload of your inbox, and that's the villain, that's the bad guy. And then you position Slack as here's a good guy, a better solution for you.
Yeah, one that was rampant I'd say probably about 5-10 years ago when the whole cable and the telcos and the cable companies were really battling on the broadband side. They actually had commercials and things where they had a villain where they would go and like try to cut the lines of the house to show, and they were really trying to portray, cable is evil, or the telcos, or fiber broadband is evil versus cable. Like they were really leveraging that model of marketing because they were trying to make it personal a lot. So
were they using masked people?
They did. They had masked people doing it, like they're going to chop the lines and everything. So it can, I mean, obviously on the B2B side, you have to be even more careful than on the B2C side. But I think it's an interesting concept. We talked about the newsletter around cybersecurity, right? Is the lack of employee education about cyber risks, I shouldn't say like dumb employee, but the uneducated employee, is that the villain, right? Is that person not aware of it? And then that's going to cause click, and then, a phishing attack comes in, all that. Yeah. So
there's some other examples, and if people are not really familiar with this type of marketing tactic, Salesforce had a campaign. This was probably a long time ago too, but Salesforce versus traditional CRM. So where they position like cloud-based CRM as the hero against the expensive on-prem solutions. So that's another way to think of it.
I even think especially on the B2B side, so the company 6 Sense, obviously, they are very focused on ABM marketing. And I've seen messages and where they've tried to position their service, don't go the, I guess, spray and pray approach of just blasting everybody out. ABM marketing, account-based marketing, using their tool to be very, very, very focused. They're really portraying the villain as that just blast everybody out there without any kind of thought. That's their positioning of it. So just another example on the B2B side.
Yep. So just curious, how do you think, if someone would want to do this sort of or implement this tactic, where do they start? How? I was just going down that path, obviously you need to decide on what the villain would be, right?
Yeah, I think you have to just really attack the ideas, right? To think about what are the ideas that are your service. Let's say we're the company. What ideas are we replacing? What things, or is that company replacing and is better than something else, right? In your example, Slack and email, what are the features and things that Slack can do that are way better than the antiquatedness of email, right? So I think if somebody's going to try to do an exercise and you bring your team together, start that. Do a brainstorming session, collaboration session where you're beating up like what are those ideas and features that are different than something else.
Right. And again, I want to underscore like attack the idea. If you Slack and email is a good example. They would not go out and say a, a Gmail specifically is the villain, but email as
Yeah,
without mentioning any names or brands or people.
yeah, for sure. I think be careful in what you do. And it was funny, there's, with a lot of times there's the term, FUD, right? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And there's a lot of times in marketing where people use fear, uncertainty, and doubt in this. And I think that's also a balance too. I think you can use those tactics and that messaging to get across a point, but there's a line too. And don't cross that line where you're taking it so far that you're disparaging or you're doing something. You're trying to get their attention and try to then educate. But I think if they cross that line into making it personal and making it, too harsh, then I think that backfires on the company that's marketing, because people don't want to work with a company that's acts like that.
No, you don't want to work with a bully.
No.
Don't be mean.
Don't be mean. I mean, have empathy. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's topic number one, villain marketing. So topic number two, the science of swag.
You know what? When I started in tech and I heard that word the first time, like, what on earth is that? That's like a decade ago, but I remember it so well that I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, I mean, swag is, especially in the tech industry and in marketing in general, right? It's the amount, millions, probably, so much money is spent on swag. I mean, like we've got, I can't really see it, but this is, a water bottle, right? So from, I think, events to, it might be trade shows, welcome boxes for new employees, or gifts sent out to clients. I think swag has gone a long way. It used to be just any tchotchke, any kind of piece of crap you could have, whether it be pens or koozies or whatever. I think that's changed a lot in the last probably several years. So what do we think what is the science of swag? What are the things we need to make sure people remember?
Well, they did a report on this and looked into, I forget how many they asked, but I think it was really good insight that people actually still do appreciate swag, believe it or not. They're okay with it being branded as long as this is actually a useful item, something that they will use in their everyday. And one of the most interesting facts from this study was that people do care more about the item being useful versus being a premium item.
Yeah, I think it's come a long way from I think people try to just have as much crap as possible versus now make it useful. Make it something. Like this. The water bottle, I use this every day, and if it's sitting on your desk and you're carrying it around, it doesn't have to have massive branding on it, but it is useful. Whether it be bottles, backpacks, jackets, something that you're going to actually use. Practicality over premium, right?
Yeah, I think one thing to note too is people do care about the sustainability, and I would recommend that any day. So when you are going to produce something, don't just do the cheapest possible plastic item that is going to end up in the landfill someday. Like think a little bit long term, and I think that will go a long way.
Yeah, I think the other piece is, if you can, make it clever, right? Whether it be something that, like, we've done beach towels before, right? So you can have a fun colors and everything on a beach towel. You don't even know really it's a branded. You don't even know that it's that company, but it's a fun design or something interesting that they're going to use and wear around, whether it be, again, hats, towels, something that's clever, but also is sustainable.
I would use that any day. Any sort of creative design on an everyday item like a towel or a water bottle. Like, I think it's so boring when people just slap the logo on and that's it. But yeah, bake it into something else that is more visually appealing. And yeah, I use that 100%.
Yeah, and I think just remember, I think what a lot of marketers forget, and I think sometimes maybe it comes from other people outside of marketing pushing on what the swag should be. Really think about it of what you would use in your everyday life, right? I mean, it's not. I mean, things like an AirTag, right? You could have an AirTag with the little AirTag holder that's got a tiny little logo on it, but maybe that AirTag goes in your car, or maybe the AirTag goes in your backpack. Like, it's always there. So I mean, think again, practicality. Make it clever, make it useful, and make it sustainable.
AirTags are really good if you have kids.
To track your kid. Make sure you don't lose the kid, right?
Well, like you put it on their car seat or their stroller and things like that. They're very useful in your luggage when you travel. It's perfect. I mean,
I think, obviously, I'm a dog and dog fan, dog owner. Having even fun, crazy collars, right? Or having there's things like cool collars for people and to keep the dogs cool. You can have a branded right there, so they're always wearing it. And again, it's subtle, but it's useful. So.
I want to give one swag item that I actually got many, many years ago. Still use it. I love it. And I've never, ever seen it anywhere else. It's a little, I don't have it here. I wish I had it on my desk. It's a little spray bottle, like tiny, tiny, that you use to clean your screen. And so you spray, and then you have a little cushion on there that you just like wipe off the screen afterwards.
Interesting.
It is such a good item for your computer screen, or especially if you have like iPads or something that the touch screen. Very good. And then throw the branding on there. Best item ever.
Awesome. All right, okay. So we have science, we have villains and science today. So, all right. Anything else?
Yeah, we have a meme.
All right.
Here we go.
So appropriate given the Olympics on right now. Yeah, we marketers, man, we are just ridiculous when it comes to tabs.
Oh my God. I have multiple browsers with probably 20 tabs each. It's ridiculous. I need to start working on that. It's confusing. That's all good stuff. That's it for today, right?
That's it.
Okay. Well, if you're not subscribed, head over to marketingqualified.co to get the latest and greatest in B2B marketing. And if not, we'll see you here next week.
See you guys.